I am live in the Sighthound Reactivity Hub. Third time's a charm. It keeps coming up with weird and wonderful things. So I'm just hoping that this time I am successfully live when it says I'm live without 300 apps popping up. I've got my phone so I can see any comments, hopefully, if any comments do come in. So I'm live in the Sighthound Reactivity Hub, and today I am talking about how toy play can help your reactive dog. Toy play is something that I think is great if dogs do it. You know, there are a lot of opinions about toy play, and there are a lot of different schools of thought about it. For me, I think toy play is a great skill to engage with your dog and to give them to help with their reactivity or any other problem that they may be having. So if you're watching this and you have any questions as you go along, feel free to ask any questions, or if you're watching it later, feel free to comment and join in then. Do comment and let me know any information about your reactive dog if you are joining. So, toy play, when I'm talking about toy play, it's pretty much what it says on the tin. All I'm talking about is engaging with play with your dog with a toy of some variety. I'm not particularly picky about what kind of toy that might be, whether it's a tuggy toy or a stuffed toy or a ball or a shredded paper bag, which is Arthur's ultimate favorite. We're talking about playing with a toy in some capacity, and I'm not one of these people who's picky. Some people say it has to be tuggy. I don't think it needs to be. Toy play is a great bonding activity for you to do with your dog. Toy play is a great outlet for feel good, happy hormones. When you play with your dog, it's going to give them happy hormones that make their mood better, help them to be more optimistic, and boost that bond with you. Boosting that bond with you is very important because we have reactive dogs who, as much as we may try, we may end up in situations where they are uncomfortable, and that can sometimes drop their trust and drop our bond a little bit when they get rushed by another dog or a bad experience happens. So we want to make sure we're having lots of good bonding time with them and building up that trust. Gives them the happy hormones. And that's a really good thing for our dogs to have. It helps how they perceive the world. It helps them feel more optimistic rather than pessimistic, which means they're more likely to see something scary, think that something good might happen. Along with that, we have that it does give them a rush of adrenaline. Now, adrenaline is a topic which is weirdly controversial in dog training and dog behavior, in that there are some schools of thought that say giving your dog a lot of outlets for adrenaline is going to make them highly adrenalized constantly on alert, desperate to play. I don't think that's true. I think it can happen. I think our reactive dogs can occasionally become a bit more addicted to play, and it can heighten their adrenaline, but that's not always the case. I've probably only worked with a couple of dogs who are reactive, who are addicted to play, and they've usually had something else sort of underpinning that. Play and adrenaline is not a bad thing. In fact, giving your dog an outlet for adrenaline that involves you means they are a lot less likely to go adrenaline seeking. Because adrenaline feels good, you know. It's not something they consciously enjoy. If they're reacting to another dog, they're not doing it to necessarily get an adrenaline rush, but they may get that rush and sort of easily heighten with that adrenaline. So, especially for frustrated or overexcited reactive dogs, giving them an outlet for adrenaline means they're less likely to want to go and like over the top play with other dogs and seek that adrenaline with those other dogs. So we give them an outlet for adrenaline. That's a really good thing. That is not a bad thing. It means they're less likely to go self-employed with it. We do want to be sensible. Don't be throwing a ball 20 times in a row on a walk. That's not very good for them. That is just getting them all pumped up. That is getting them all just amped up, and then they will be more likely to react to things in all likelihood. But a bit of play here and there is not a bad thing. So how can we use play to help reduce reactivity? Play and toy play is a really good way to channel that adrenaline. So we're giving that adrenaline an outlet, which also means that we can use this adrenalized state of mind to train your dogs to be able to listen and engage with you and switch arousal up and down during play. So one of the things about reactivity is for many dogs, it's going to give them, I don't know why this screen keeps glitching. I'm sorry. I'm waiting for my third camera to arrive that will hopefully work the way I want it to. But the thing with reactive dogs is that they do get easily adrenalized when they see their triggers a lot of the time. So if they see another dog or a person, for some reactive dogs, what can happen is that as soon as they see it, they go into a very high state of arousal. And then when they're in that high state of arousal, it doesn't matter what distance that other dog or person is, it's too much because the adrenaline rush is just so powerful that they can't sort of contain it. It's trying to tell me I've got unused applications. This is the only thing open. So but like Marley, so I've had reactive dogs, I've had reactive whippets. Marley was my reactive whippet, and very often one of the problems I had was as soon as he saw a dog, his adrenaline shot up, and he has no idea how to control his adrenaline. He has no idea that he can work through that adrenaline, so he would just bark and lunge intensely as soon as he saw anything, even if it was 2-3 fields away. As soon as he saw it, he was ready, which meant that it was very difficult to train him for reactivity because triggers elicited such a strong response. So how did we use toys? We used toys to start to train Marley that if he is playing, he can come down a little bit from that adrenaline and he can listen. So we might have been playing and then I asked him for touch and then he could continue playing like keep away with a toy, or we could be playing like fetch with his ball up the garden, and then I send him to his bed every now and then, or I just play with his ball and scatter his food. What we're doing is deliberately getting them to arousal up, arousal down, emotions high, emotions low, so that they can learn to regulate and go between those emotions without being stuck at this high state of mind. So we can use toy play for that, and toy play is a great way to do that because it doesn't feel high pressure for our whippets and sighthounds. And if they really love toys, this is going to give them that same sort of adrenaline reaction that a trigger might give them. So we are able to practice in a context of adrenaline without it being a highly a trigger with history, like dogs or people, whatever it might be. One of the ways that I love to use toys as well is by going out on my walks with a toy and playing with toys regularly. I will often find places where, I know that my dog is comfortable to begin with, and we'll go out and we'll play, maybe fetch, into the long grass so they're searching for the ball, or a bit of tuggy, or if I've got the clam for the less toy motivated dogs where I can put a treat in it, I can throw that around. I'm going to start out in places that are comfortable for my dog, but then the toy is, a good source of feel good hormones. I might start to use it in places where I suspect there might be triggers that my dog would otherwise be scanning for, so that we can change their perception of that place from being, oh, I need to be scanning, there could be things around, to, oh, when we're here, we play together, we have a good time. Doesn't need to be long play, especially if our dogs are less motivated with toys. Just a minute or so is absolutely fine. If you find they struggle to come down from play, we can do some scatter feeding, maybe a find it. But we are giving like an alternative sort of behavior and an alternative feeling to places where they might otherwise be on edge. And I think that can be really powerful for a lot of dogs. And then we can take this out in different places. We can do it before a walk if it's going to calm them down. A lot of reactivity training does depend on your dog. Some dogs, I would say, never in a million years should you play tuggy before you go out on a walk with them, because maybe for your dog they amp them up intensely and then they're not going to come down. That is not a dog I would go out with and do tuggy before a walk, because some dogs are going to struggle to come down. But if I have a dog who just needs to get a bit of something out of their system before they go out, playing a bit of tuggy or playing with their toy, however you play it, about 10-15 minutes before a walk is a great way to get some frustration and some emotions out onto something appropriate, rather than it being out on that walk where they may see a trigger. It's very glitchy, isn't it? I'm very sorry. So this isn't the most long one. It's not the most long live. Yeah, that's a phrase. It might not have like be the longest one I've ever done, but it's just meant to be a bit of helpful advice to help you with your reactive dogs if they are reactive, and to help them if they enjoy toys and they enjoy play. Um, if you have any questions, just give me a shout in the comments, whether you're watching this later or you're watching this now. These are just a few quick tips for you to go away with and try with your reactive dog. And I would encourage you to play with your reactive dog. And if you're not sure how to get your reactive dog to play, or they may be uninterested in toys, give me a comment and I could give you some tips and advice, or maybe do a whole separate thing on that. It's not the longest one in the world. I can't see any comments. So I'm going to go, let you enjoy the rest of your evening. I can't see any comments, so I hope you don't think I'm being rude. If you have left any comments, it doesn't always show me. But thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and let me know if you have any questions or thoughts or anything like that. Bye. Let's see. Oh,